Apple just released iOS 27 and with it, Apple Intelligence and Siri AI. This is the biggest update ever to Apple Intelligence, and I think, just hear me out, I think this might cause some trouble to the rest of the AI industry. Google Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, they are all going to suffer because this new Apple Intelligence upgrade is revolutionary. Let's talk about it. Yes, I know before you attack me that Apple Intelligence is the joke of the community. Apple Intelligence sucks, and since it was released in 2025, exactly 1 year ago, it has been a total disappointment. Your iPhone does not run it, your computer Mac does not run it, your iPad does not run it. No one uses Apple Intelligence. But I think that's about to change because Apple just released, quietly, the biggest upgrade ever. On WWDC 2026 that just wrapped up, Apple announced some crazy new features for Apple Intelligence that will integrate into your everyday life. And I think approach the AI business in a different way. And I think this is the most sustainable business model. Now hear me out. Whenever you open Google Gemini, ChatGPT, it's like more of a conversational app. It's a standalone software that you open and you interact with. You can create automations, you can create agentic workflows, but whenever you interact with these apps, you are consciously doing it. You are opening their app and you are asking them their questions using their chats. But with Apple Intelligence, Apple approached it in a different way. Apple Intelligence is completely baked into iOS. For example, whenever you interact with your software system, whenever you talk to Siri, whenever you create automations using shortcuts, whenever you use Safari, you are using Apple Intelligence. Whenever you are using your apps, you are using Apple Intelligence. Apple Intelligence is quietly baked into Apple software to be very, very disguised. And this is very intelligent because people don't want to know how it works. People want to see it works. People don't want to know and don't want to have to create complicated schemes in their heads to use the technology because most people, yes, most people, they just want to have it worked. And that's why everyone loves the iPhone. And so I think that Apple creating Apple Intelligence as a baked-in feature on iOS is very, very smart. And it's game-changing. Instead of creating another chatbot, instead of getting another Claude competitor, Apple is doing differently, is thinking differently. And it actually justifies why they are so late to the AI market. If you want a full summary of all of the features that are coming with iOS 26 to Apple Intelligence, here they are. But I want to highlight 3 big ones. The first being the photo app integration. Yes, you can now edit your photos with Apple Intelligence. And this is crazy because this is free for every iPhone coming with Apple Intelligence. This is a big one. But cleanup is getting a big upgrade. Cleanup has been terrible since last year. It's been probably the biggest source of jokes from Apple Intelligence because it's actually really, really bad if I use it on my current iOS 26 upgrade. But according to Apple, this is getting a completely overhaul and it's getting much, much better. I forgot to mention that Apple Intelligence is getting based on Gemini. So yes, probably these models are coupled with Google, and Apple confirmed that on the keynote, that they are combining forces with Google's Gemini and creating their own language model, but probably based on Gemini. And if this is actually successful, it's because of Google's powerful tools, not because of Apple's tools, but according to them, it's currently much, much better, and using the cleanup tool has become much, much easier and actually accurate, unlike before, which was honestly pretty bad. The cleanup tool is very useful, and I can see lots of people enjoying this just for that. But the biggest feature is spatial reframing. Spatial reframing left me hot because now you can reframe your shot, not simply like zooming out, zooming in. You can generate and refill the rest of the image. That's cool, but spatial reframing actually enables you to move around, move the perspective of the photo using your fingers, and then refill the rest with AI. And let me tell you guys, this is insane. I was completely awed. I've never seen this work anywhere. This is a completely new feature that only Apple can do. And I think this is one of the best implementations of AI in terms of photo editing I've ever seen. This is it. And most people will use it and not know it's AI. And that's the beautiful thing about Apple Intelligence. And I think that's the biggest goal with Apple on it. Then the second thing I want to highlight is the agentic workflows. Apple is integrating agentic workflows, yes, like Claude, like Gemini, like ChatGPT, but they are integrating them on the Shortcuts app. Yes, this sounds crazy, but it's very easy. Using your natural language, speaking to your iPhone, you can now do very powerful things. But I think that Apple integrating it this way on iOS via the Shortcuts app will become the most useful and the most used agentic workflow AI. For sure. I mean, it's so easy, you don't even know it's AI, and it works seamlessly. Apple gave a great example on the keynote that you can go and watch, but let me tell you, this will change everything. And I think that this second use case, most people don't know it's AI, they will use it, and it's awesome. The third biggest feature is the quality of improvement of life of people using iOS. I mean, Apple Intelligence will be everywhere. Apple gave another example that I thought it was really, really cool. Whenever you are in a call with some company, you can, for example, calling your cable company for your TV. It will give you all of your contract information found on your email. It will search every single interaction that we had with them, and will put it on your display while you are talking to them. This is very useful. You don't know it's AI. It's working behind the scenes. It's totally Apple Intelligence. Another cool thing is whenever someone asks you for photos on the message app, well, your message app will tell you, search for the photos. It will search for your photos that they are asking for on your Photos app. It will send them to them. Your Photos app will be even better indexing photos. You can now search any photo for descriptions, and even older photos, they will create a description behind the scenes. Spotlight is integrated now with Apple Intelligence, and it works. And so all of these quality of life features with Apple Intelligence are becoming even more powerful, even better, and now iOS is becoming even smarter, and it knows you pretty well, and it's becoming even more autonomous. So yes, Apple Intelligence is not creating a completely new chatbot. No, it's not replacing ChatGPT. No, Apple Intelligence is not creating an image generator app. No, it's not replacing Google Gemini. But Apple Intelligence is probably becoming the best and the most used AI in the future. Because, well, it sits right in your phone. It works behind the scenes. You cannot turn it off. And let me tell you guys, it's changing your life. While ChatGPT, Google Gemini, yes, they are like a personal friend, a personal assistant that is there. You want to go there to talk to. And Apple Intelligence will probably be like your mother behind the scenes. You know it's there, you don't acknowledge it, but it damn well does the job. One thing that Apple did that I was like, was Siri AI. Now Apple integrated Siri with Apple Intelligence. So now you have the chatbot version of Apple Intelligence. And this is where I think Apple is not the best. I think that ChatGPT, Google Gemini, even Claude will be very, very powerful. I mean, think with me. Apple Intelligence, it's great running in the background. But whenever you give it a voice, whenever you give it a face, whenever you give it a person, Siri, well, it needs to become something that it is not. Something that Apple did not develop it to. So whenever you see Apple using Siri AI, they always give these examples that I think, they are not the best. And even the integration, the way that he uses it, I don't think Siri AI will be the most powerful. And I think that Siri AI will exist. You will have the choice to use it, but I don't think it will be the most used or even the most powerful. I think it will be probably the most convenient. I mean, for Apple, probably that's enough. For some examples that I didn't enjoy seeing on Apple's keynote was the fact that you can click and then text to speech to Siri on your dynamic calendar, and then she'll give you this prompt, this window where you can search and use and interact with your Siri. But I think that it's much easier to have a background AI or even create a Claude code-like example wherever you can text to speech, but then it runs on the background whenever you're not using it, then completely invading your screen, completely stopping your workflow and being there like a chatbot. I don't think that's the future of AI, and I think that that's a pretty way to show what Apple Intelligence can do. I don't think it's the most useful one. And so, let me know below what you think about Apple Intelligence. I think that this is a big upgrade. Finally, Apple is doing something for AI, and I do believe that this is going to replace some use cases for Claude, for ChatGPT, and for Google Gemini. And even for some people, they're going to replace it for everything. Because Apple Intelligence does the core. Apple Intelligence does the basics. Apple Intelligence covers most automatic agentic workflows. Apple Intelligence covers the most automations that people want to create. Apple Intelligence is for the average Joe. While Claude Code will continue to be always for the nerds. Always for the guys that want to push the AI to its limits. While Apple Intelligence, pretty much them will be the most used AI in the world in the next couple of months. And I'm sure of that. I'll have the iOS 27 first look video out on my channel where I will try out Apple Intelligence on iOS 27 for the first time. So if you guys are excited, drop it below, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that video. Thank you guys for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.